I've decided to come up with a level up pyramid, if you will, a self-improvement pyramid, because I think a lot of the time we focus on the external factors too soon, and then we forget all about the internal work that needs to be done before we get to that point. This is going to be a 5-part series, and today we're going to focus on the baseline, which is self-awareness. I think if you don't have self-awareness, if you're not aware of what's going right for you, what's going wrong for you, then how can you change anything, right? So before you try to improve anything, you need to know what triggers you. You need to know what you do when you're uncomfortable, and you need to know what patterns keep repeating themselves. And we're going to start with thinking about our default behaviors. So a default behavior is something that you do automatically when you're in an uncomfortable situation. That could be when you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed or bored. So for example, it could be scrolling, it could be procrastinating, not opening emails, cancelling plans, sleeping too much, impulse spending. Not all of your default behaviors are going to be bad, but you just need to be aware, and you just need to make note of your default behaviors. You then need to apply them to different scenarios. So yes, you do those things, but when do you do them? For example, when you're bored, you might end up binge watching content. When I feel X, I tend to X instead of X. Okay, and I'm going to put it on the screen as well. So for example, when I feel bored, I tend to go on my phone instead of doing something useful. Now, the next thing that I would say is to track a few days, and I would say track at least 3 days, because you want to know what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, and you want to write down what you were supposed to do and what you actually did. That's going to really give you an idea of how you're spending your time. Otherwise, you're just doing random things and then hoping it's going to stick, and we don't want that. So if you're tracking a day, and let's say for example you were supposed to start working at 10 o'clock, maybe you had some tasks that you need to complete, but instead of doing that, what you really did was sit on your phone and scroll until 11:15. Once you've done that, you've tracked your 3 days, the next thing you need to do, you want to identify 3 things that are triggering you the most. These are the things that are causing you to fall into some of your most poor habits. Is it when you are stressed that you're doing some of these things? Is it when you are around certain people? Is it a certain environment? So you need to identify, just do 3. So you've identified your habits, you've identified your behaviors, you've identified the scenarios, you've identified your triggers. Now that you've identified those things, I want you to pick just one of those things for you to work on. It could be a trigger that you want to work on. It could be a behavior that you want to work on. It could be one of the scenarios that you want to work on. So if you're always scrolling on your phone, do you want to start by working on reducing your phone time, for example? Is it that you're eating poorly? Do you want to focus on your diet first of all? Follow for part 2, where we're going to move up to the next level of the pyramid.